My friend, before we start, I want you to stop and think about the title you clicked on. Don't tell a soul. Listen to this for just 2 minutes, and money will appear out of the blue. Some people might see a title like that and laugh. Some may immediately feel doubt, but something inside you chose not to scroll past it. Something pulled at your inner self. Something whispered, "You need to pay attention here." And I want to tell you honestly from my heart, you did not click on this by chance. God often uses surprising things to reach a heart that feels weary, is in pain, or is searching for something more. Sometimes He puts something very bold right in front of your eyes to wake you up, to stir up something deep inside you, to draw you closer to Him. So if you are here listening, it is because heaven has a reason for you to be here. That title was not meant to trick you. It was meant to find you, to bring you to this very specific moment in time. Now, please listen very closely, because what I am about to share with you is not meant for everyone to know. Do not tell anyone what you hear. Do not share this special time with people who make fun of what they cannot grasp. Do not bring this to those who have allowed their doubts to make their hearts hard and closed off. This is because what is happening right here, right now, in this moment, is not just a normal thing. It is not something that belongs in the hands of people who can only see what is physical or natural. What is unfolding for you is something that is not natural, something holy and divine, something that goes beyond the limits of human thinking and science. And my friends, miracles were never meant to be analyzed or studied. Miracles are simply meant to be experienced in your life. You see, the world has taught you to look for solid proof, to wait for clear evidence, to only trust what can be measured and calculated. But God does not work within those limited boundaries. God moves in ways that completely confuse the people who think they are wise. He provides answers to prayers in moments that seem to make no logical sense at all. He sends help to you from unexpected places you never even looked at. And right now, whether you can feel it yet or not, something is already beginning to change completely for your benefit. You might not see it with your own eyes just yet, but oh, if only you could see what heaven is setting up for you behind the scenes right now. You would weep tears of relief and joy. You would drop to your knees in total thankfulness. You would say, "Lord, I had no idea you were working so hard and so deeply for me all this time. You were intentionally led here. You were brought to this very moment with a real purpose." Heaven does not operate by random luck or accidents. Heaven operates by specific assignments and plans. And you, my dear friend, are currently under a powerful divine assignment right now. At this moment, some of you are listening with a heart that is completely worn out. You are tired of fighting the very same difficult battles repeatedly. You are tired of seeing the same pile of bills building up on your desk. You are tired of forcing yourself to look brave and strong, when inside you feel like you're about to fall apart completely. Some of you have spent many sleepless nights staring up at the ceiling and quietly whispering, "God, I honestly do not know what else I can do. Please, please help me." And maybe you did not even pray using actual words. Maybe your prayer was just through your falling tears. Maybe your prayer was in the heavy silence you felt. Maybe your prayer was in that deep, heavy sigh you let out when nobody else was watching you. But God heard every single bit of it all. You have already experienced that terrible sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. You have felt the rising panic that grips you when yet another unexpected bill arrives in the mail. You have felt the heavy weight of opening your wallet and seeing nothing but emptiness staring back out at you. You have felt the agony of wondering, how much longer can I possibly keep doing this all by myself? And you have looked up and quietly whispered, "Lord, please just give me one sign. Just one small sign that things are truly going to get better for me soon." My friend, this exact message is that sign you asked for. This very moment is the sign you needed to see. You did not just stumble into finding this message here. You were very intentionally brought to this place. Something incredibly powerful is being opened up for you right now. In this moment, you may not feel any sudden, exciting fireworks. You may not feel any strange tingling sensations. You may feel absolutely nothing physically at all. But deep in the spiritual realm, which you cannot see, something sacred is opening up. Something spiritual is moving into action. Something divine is actively stepping toward your life circumstances. There is a strong presence with you in this moment. A presence that gently wraps itself around you like a very warm, comforting blanket. a presence that whispers very softly. You are certainly not alone in this. Think of this prayer, this special moment, as a powerful holy key, a key that is now opening doors that no human being will ever be able to shut closed again. But do not share this key with anyone who doubts. Do not expose this very sensitive moment to those who would immediately laugh, quickly dismiss, or mock and belittle what God is actively doing within your heart. This is a private, quiet whisper coming straight from heaven to your heart only. It is a secret, personal meeting, a divine appointment that is just for you. The Bible says in the book of Isaiah 45:3, "I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored carefully in secret places." My friend, what God is promising in that scripture verse is exactly what He is starting to release into your life right now. Hidden treasures that you didn't know existed, unexpected financial provision, answers coming from unlikely sources, help coming from places you thought were completely empty. You will see new opportunities you did not even know were available to you. That is precisely how God works for us, quietly, but with immense power, and in ways that simply defy any human understanding or logical explanation. If you feel this message stirring something deep inside your spirit, I want you to take a moment and say, even if you just whisper it silently, "I receive this," because that small, heartfelt statement is your full agreement with heaven right now. That is your very soul saying aloud, "I am completely open to it. I am ready for this change. I am willing to accept it." Take a very deep breath for me right now. Let the heavy pressure fall off your shoulders, just for this moment. Let the fear loosen its tight grip on you. Let the anxiety you feel begin to soften and melt away. Come with me now. Open your heart completely, because together in absolute faith, we are about to send a powerful prayer directly into the throne room of heaven itself. And this prayer, this quiet, honest prayer, is going to speak directly to the deepest part of your soul that has been crying out constantly for a powerful, life-changing transformation. I can feel it deeply within me. Something significant is definitely moving into action. Something massive is shifting in the atmosphere. It feels exactly like a gentle, peaceful wind, very soft but incredibly powerful at the same time. A wind that is actively blowing away all of your fear. A wind that is currently breaking all of the chains that held you. A wind that is beginning to lift all of the heavy burdens you have been carrying around for far too long in your life. Maybe you have spent many years of your life trying to fix absolutely everything all by yourself. Carrying unnecessary guilt that was never truly yours to carry. Carrying heavy expectations that were far too much for you to bear alone. Carrying deep shame that God never once intended for you to carry. But today, right now, in this special, sacred moment, you are consciously choosing to finally let go of it all. You are choosing to fully trust again. You are choosing to honestly believe that something far greater and better is absolutely possible for you now. You may look at your current life right now and think that nothing appears to have changed on the outside, but please hear me clearly, something profound inside of you is changing right now. Something invisible but extremely powerful is at work, because when your inner world fully agrees and aligns with heaven's will, the outer world you live in has no other choice but to follow along. Right now, you are opening your soul like an old window that has been stuck tightly shut for many years. Fresh, clean air is actively rushing in right now. The light of hope is completely pouring in. Hope itself is stepping into your life. And as all of this happens, your spirit is actively rising up, rising with immense new strength, rising with great courage, rising with a quiet, unwavering faith, and in this moment simply whisper straight from your heart, "God, here I am open. Please renew my hope, lift my spirit up again, guide my weary steps forward." That is truthfully all He truly needs from you. Your willingness and openness to receive. You may desperately want financial prosperity. You may wish for things to greatly increase in your life, but what you truly crave deep down, what your soul honestly longs for, is genuine peace. The deep peace that no amount of money could ever purchase for you. The peace that settles quietly deep inside your bones and simply tells you with certainty, everything is going to be completely all right in the end. And that deep peace is actively beginning to settle over you right now. At this very moment, my friend. This is truly only the very beginning of great things. Heaven has already started moving on your behalf, and no force on this entire earth can possibly stop what God has powerfully initiated for you. Amen. Me friends, as we move into this next part of the message, I want you to lean in and listen very closely now, because what I am about to share will land directly in the place within you where you have been hurting the most deeply. You see, there are life battles that you can openly discuss with people, the ones that your family members clearly see, the ones that your close friends already know about. But then, there are those other battles that live deep inside your heart and soul, the battles that absolutely nobody knows anything about at all. The battles that keep you wide awake at night, staring at the ceiling. The battles you fight entirely by yourself, while constantly pretending to be completely strong for everyone else. And today, I want to tell you something with absolute powerful certainty. The battle you have been silently fighting is about to completely break and end. Some of you who are listening right now have been walking through a dark, low valley for so long that you have completely forgotten what the bright mountaintop even looks like anymore. You have been relentlessly fighting huge waves of fear, massive waves of worry, and painful waves of deep discouragement. You have been frantically trying to hold yourself together, while everything happening around you feels like it is falling completely apart. You have been desperately trying to smile brightly on the outside, while quietly crying out on the inside. But please hear me, my very dear friend. God sees every single tear you have shed in private. He sees every single moment you forced yourself to pretend that you were completely okay when you honestly were not. He sees every single sigh you let out when you thought absolutely nobody was watching. You feel defeated, and heaven has absolutely not ignored you at all. Heaven has certainly not forgotten about you for 1 second. Heaven has not overlooked even one moment of your deep, personal pain. Some of you have been silently asking the same painful questions. When will this horrible loneliness finally end? When will this long struggle finally break and be over? When will something finally shift and change completely for me? And I want you to know the powerful shift has already begun now. You may not be able to see it with your eyes yet, but something incredible and non-natural has already started to move in your favor. The simple fact that you are right here listening to these specific words, right now, is absolute proof that God has already stepped directly into your circumstance and is intervening. When God is about to powerfully change a person's life, He always begins by changing their spirit and heart first. He actively strengthens the hearts of those who are weary and tired. He lifts the head that has been bowed down low in defeat. He breathes refreshing, brand new hope into all the places where discouragement had settled deeply like old dust. And that, my friend, is exactly what He is actively doing for you at this very moment in time. You see, the enemy will very often attack you the hardest in all the areas where God intends to bless you, the most richly and powerfully later. And for some of you, the simple reason the financial pressure has felt so incredibly intense lately. The reason the emotional weight has been so tremendously heavy. The reason the obstacles have felt so completely constant and overwhelming is this. There is an enormous blessing on its way to you that is much bigger than anything you have ever even imagined before now. The pressure you have been under recently is not at all a sign of your defeat. It is actually a clear sign of a spiritual birth. Something completely new, something tremendously powerful, something truly life-changing is urgently trying to come forth and be born into your life. And just like a woman in labor feels the most intense pain right before her child finally enters the world, you have been experiencing the absolute hardest part of your journey right before your massive breakthrough finally arrives at your door. Do not mistake your current exhaustion for any kind of failure. Do not confuse this time of delay with God denying you anything good. Do not interpret the silence you hear as God completely abandoning you, because while you were crying out, God was actively planning. While you were patiently waiting, God was busy preparing. While you were doubting your own strength, God was powerfully aligning things behind the scenes for you. He was arranging things that you cannot yet see, things that you do not even know that you will absolutely need soon. And the very moment you feel the weakest and most defeated is often the exact moment heaven is actively working the strongest on your behalf, fighting for you. There have been many moments in your life recently where you truly felt like saying, I just cannot possibly do this anymore. But yet, You kept moving forward. You bravely got back up again. You successfully pushed through the difficulty once more. You quietly whispered, "Lord, please just give me the strength for one more single day." That one quiet prayer, that small whisper of faith you offered, moved heaven more deeply than you will ever fully understand. God never needed you to be completely perfect in your life. He never asked you to be a person who never struggles at all. What truly moved his heart was the fact that you absolutely did not give up trying. You held on to hope even when all you had left was just a tiny thread of faith. You kept on believing even when paralyzing doubt tried its hardest to completely drown you. You kept praying even when it felt like absolutely no answer was ever going to come to you. And because of that deep faith, that small, shaky, but very persistent faith, heaven is powerfully responding to you now. My friend, the difficult battle you have been fighting for so long is not going to end with you just barely surviving by the skin of your teeth. No, it is going to end with you powerfully rising. It is going to end with you being much stronger, much wiser, and far more blessed than you were before the battle ever started, because God does not just bring you out of a difficulty simply to bring you out. He brings you out of it to actively elevate you to a higher level. When God faithfully restores something for you, He never restores it back to the original condition it was in before. He restores you to a much higher place, a stronger place, a place of immense favor. Some of you feel completely stuck financially right now. You feel like no matter how intensely hard you work, you are just barely managing to keep your head above the waterline. You feel like you are doing absolutely everything that you know how to do. Yet the expected breakthrough never ever arrives for you. But listen to this promise. God is absolutely not limited by your current job, your personal background, your level of education, or the balance in your bank account right now. When God powerfully sends financial provision to you, it absolutely does not need to make any sense at all. It does not need to follow any human logic. It does not need your permission to arrive. It simply arrives out of nowhere. It comes to you from sources that you never expected. It comes through people who you never thought would help. It comes at a time that you never could have planned. And I believe with every single conviction in my soul that unexpected provision is actively being released for you right now. Some of you have been constantly wrestling with intense fear. Fear of what the future holds. Fear of completely failing. Fear of losing the very little that you still have left in life. But fear is truly nothing more than the dark shadow of a miracle that has not yet had the chance to appear in your life. Fear desperately tries to convince you that the absolute worst things are coming for you, right when heaven is actively preparing the very best things for you. And that intense fear is completely breaking away from you right now. You may not physically feel its chains falling off yet, but they absolutely are. You may not feel its heavy weight lifting just yet, but it certainly is lifting. You may not feel its voice quietly fading away, but it is already quickly losing all of its power over you. Because wherever genuine faith grows and takes root, fear must immediately die. And your faith, even if it feels very small and weak right now, even if it feels completely exhausted, is powerfully rising up again. Right now, my friend, you are much closer to your breakthrough than you think you are, much closer to complete relief than you realize, much closer to your testimony than you imagine. What felt like a painful ending is about to powerfully reveal itself as an incredible new beginning for you. What felt like a massive loss is about to suddenly turn into an immense gain. What felt like an agonizing delay is about to completely reveal its perfect divine timing. You may have walked right through a dangerous fire, but you will not smell like smoke afterward. You may have walked through the deepest valley of your life, but you will not remain stuck there forever. You may have felt completely broken, but you will not stay broken for long. The battle you've been fighting is about to break and end now. Not because of your own limited strength, not because of your perfection, but purely because God has chosen this specific moment to step powerfully into your difficult situation. And when heaven steps in like this, absolutely everything shifts, everything begins to move quickly, everything completely changes. Hold on tight, lift your weary head high. Something tremendously powerful is rapidly coming your way now. And this right here, right now, is your complete turning point. Amen, my friends. As we now move even deeper into this message, I want you to open your heart much wider than you have done so far in your life. This is because what I am about to speak will reach right into the very core of what you have been struggling with, what you have been deeply hoping for, and what you have been desperately praying for lately. There comes one certain moment in every person who believes life, a special moment that is not announced, not predicted, and not really expected, when heaven steps powerfully into their circumstance. Not gently or subtly, but very decisively. It is a moment when the entire atmosphere surrounding you suddenly begins to rapidly shift. A moment when what was completely blocked before begins to suddenly open up. A moment when what was delayed for so long begins to actively move quickly. A moment when the seemingly impossible things begin to suddenly loosen their tight grip on you. That moment, my dear friend, is upon you right now. You may not feel anything dramatic happening. You may not hear anything particularly unusual or loud. But the spiritual realm does not always announce its arrival with loud thunder and huge fire. Sometimes heaven enters a person's difficult situation in the very same way that the peaceful dawn enters a dark, quiet sky. Quietly, steadily, and beautifully, until suddenly everything around you is fully illuminated with light. That is exactly what is happening to you right now. Slowly but with total certainty, something is changing significantly in the unseen spiritual realm. Something amazing is rising up on your behalf. Something holy and pure has stepped directly into the places where you once felt completely alone. You may not have the exact words to describe it yet, but your spirit already knows it deeply. Your soul easily recognizes this shift. Deep down inside, you have surely felt something powerful these last few moments. A soothing softening, a gentle stirring of hope, a strong, clear shift. My friend, when heaven steps in to help you, it does not just simply adjust your life a little. It transforms your life completely. Heaven never only moves halfway toward you. Heaven never shows up just to passively observe your struggles. When heaven decides to move, it moves with a clear, specific purpose, with perfect precision, and with the full, complete weight of God's divine authority. And right now, heaven is absolutely not negotiating your breakthrough. Heaven is actively enforcing it to happen right now. Heaven is not just passively hoping things might work out well for you in the end. Heaven is actively commanding a decisive shift in your direction immediately. Heaven is not waiting patiently for the perfect right moment to arrive. Heaven has powerfully chosen this exact moment to intervene. You see, some breakthroughs in life come to you through lots of hard personal effort. Some breakthroughs come through great endurance and perseverance. Some breakthroughs come to you through acquired wisdom. But there are certain powerful breakthroughs, very rare, extremely non-natural, and completely life-altering breakthroughs that only come when heaven itself takes complete control. These are the special moments when God simply says, "Enough is enough. My child has suffered more than enough. My child has struggled more than enough. My child has patiently waited more than enough time. Now I will directly intervene myself." And I believe with everything deep within me that this is that powerful moment for you right now. Some of you listening have been desperately living in constant survival mode for such a long time that you have completely forgotten what true peace even feels like anymore. You have forgotten what it feels like to simply breathe without any fear, to sleep soundly without any worry, to wake up in the morning without any deep sense of dread hanging over you. You have been carrying heavy burdens that were honestly never meant for you to carry alone. You have been holding on to many different responsibilities that have utterly drained your heart and spirit dry. You have been functioning constantly on a completely empty tank. But the very moment heaven steps in to help, all that great heaviness begins to immediately lift away. You may feel it subtly at first, a gentle lightness in your chest and lungs, a noticeable softening and calming in your mind, a deep sense of calm peace washing completely over your troubled heart. That is absolutely not your imagination playing tricks on you. That is not a random coincidence. That is the undeniable presence of heaven powerfully touching your life and circumstances. Think deeply of all the many times you felt like just completely giving up the fight. All the times you truly thought you could not go on any longer. All the times you felt completely forgotten, overlooked, and utterly abandoned by everyone. Every single one of those painful moments was clearly seen by God, Not even one single tear that you shed fell unnoticed. Not one heavy sigh that you let out went unheard by him. You were truly never alone, not even for one moment. And now, after all those long nights of crying out in pain, after all those difficult days of struggling and fighting, heaven is actively stepping in to answer your deepest prayers. You see, heaven does not operate on your personal timeline. It strictly operates on perfect divine timing. Sometimes God allows certain doors in your life to remain tightly closed until the room that lies behind them is perfectly ready for you to enter. Sometimes He deliberately delays a great opportunity because the massive blessing He has prepared for you is much larger than what you were even asking Him for. Sometimes He holds you back from moving forward because He is actively protecting you from some hidden danger you did not even know was coming your way. And sometimes, oh, this is a sacred, holy truth. Sometimes God allows you to walk through a dark, low valley so that when He powerfully brings you out, you will never once doubt His immense goodness ever again. And now, the perfect timing has finally arrived. Now the difficult season is actively shifting and changing. Now the long-awaited blessing is completely ready to be delivered to you. Now your breakthrough is clearly very near. The moment heaven steps in for you is the moment that absolutely everything that was previously against you instantly begins to lose all of its power. Problems that once felt completely overwhelming and impossible begin to noticeably shrink in size. Obstacles that once seemed completely immovable and solid begin to rapidly weaken. Doors that absolutely refused to open for you begin to finally crack wide open, and completely new ways are actively being made for you where no way existed before at all. Me friend, there are powerful blessings stored up just for you. Blessings that have been carefully preserved, totally protected, and perfectly prepared for the exact precise moment that heaven decides to finally release them to you. And heaven is actively releasing them to you right now. You may have wrongly thought that this long delay meant denial, but please hear me. The delay was simply a time of preparation. Preparation of all your circumstances, preparation of your necessary resources, preparation of the exact people who will powerfully help you, and even the necessary preparation of your very own heart. And now, that essential preparation phase is finally complete. Some of you who are listening now are about to experience a massive financial provision in ways that will completely blow your mind and defy all human logic. Unexpected deposits of money, sudden and unexpected opportunities, complete restoration of lost funds. Not because of random luck, not because of some coincidence, but purely because heaven has stepped decisively into your situation with the complete fullness of God's immense favor. Some of you are about to receive powerful emotional healing, the kind of deep healing that completely wipes out many years of paralyzing fear, years of deep shame, and years of crippling anxiety. Healing that lifts the heavy, crushing weight off your soul, as if it was never even there at all. Healing that completely restores your lost confidence. Healing that gives you a new strength you had completely forgotten you possessed. Some of you are about to receive total clarity and insight. Decisions that once utterly confused, you will suddenly become absolutely clear and simple. Paths that once seemed completely impossible to follow will suddenly feel wide open and easy. The confusion, the thick fog, the loud mental noise, all of it will completely begin to fade away rapidly. Because when heaven steps in to help you, perfect clarity steps in right along with it. And some of you, listen very closely now, are about to receive incredible favor. Favor that instantly opens doors you absolutely could not open on your own personal power. Favor that causes people to happily say yes to you when they would normally say a firm no to everyone else. Favor that perfectly positions you for great opportunities, far beyond your current qualifications or experience. Favor that quietly surrounds you completely like an invisible shield of protection. Favor that lifts you up into places you once only dreamed about reaching. You may not know exactly how it will happen. You may not know the specific day it will happen. But you will absolutely know that it is God. Because nobody, not even you, will be able to take any credit for it at all. There is a precise moment, a divine moment where heaven suddenly decides that the long struggle must finally end now. A moment where the dark clouds completely part. A moment where the painful dry season finally breaks. a moment where the winds of change completely shift direction, a moment where God firmly says, "Now I will show my incredible power in your life." That powerful moment has absolutely arrived for you now. You did not just randomly stumble into finding this message. You were very deliberately led straight into it by God. And heaven is actively confirming the powerful breakthrough you have been praying for so long. Hold this truth very close to your heart. When heaven steps in, nothing, no fear, no debt, no enemy, no obstacle, can possibly stand in your way anymore. This is truly your moment. This is your massive shift. This is your complete divine turnaround now. Heaven has powerfully entered your circumstance, and absolutely nothing will remain the same as before. Amen. My friends, now that heaven has decisively stepped in to help you, I want you to hear this truth very clearly and understand it. This is the critical moment to begin actively walking in the light of abundance and favor. Not tomorrow, not next week sometime, not after a specific season passes. Now, this very moment. You see, when God begins to actively move on your behalf, He does not passively wait around for your perfect timing or perfect circumstances to be in place. He actively moves in the very moment that you are personally ready to fully receive His help. And if you are sitting here listening to this message right now, that personal readiness is already strongly stirring inside your own spirit. There is a deep change happening in your heart. A quiet, firm conviction, a great sense of strong expectation that is rising up even in the midst of all of your current uncertainty. This is the exact time to completely open your heart fully, to lift your eyes up, and to firmly declare, "I am completely ready to receive the incredible blessings that heaven has specifically prepared for me." Some of you have been living constantly in a mindset of scarcity, wrongly believing that resources are severely limited, that opportunities are very rare to find, and that favor is only meant for someone else, but certainly not for you personally. That deep-seated mindset, that specific way of thinking about life, has been holding you back much more powerfully than you currently realize. But today, you are actively stepping into a completely new spiritual realm. A realm where abundance is rightfully your true inheritance. A realm where God's favor is not just occasional, but is completely constant and always present. A realm where the doors that once stubbornly remained closed are now rapidly swinging open for you in ways you never thought possible. And the simple truth is this: heaven will always perfectly meet you exactly wherever you are currently standing. It does not at all require that you have absolutely everything figured out perfectly in your life. It does not demand that you yourself be completely perfect. All that heaven genuinely asks of you is that you bravely step forward with faith, even if that faith is shaking, even if you feel completely unsure, even if you are hesitant, and that you clearly say, "Lord, I fully trust you now to successfully lead me into this amazing new season of my life." I want you to see this idea very clearly in your mind. Favor is not just a free gift. It is actually a powerful principle in action. Favor acts like a constantly flowing river in your life, perfectly aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities all on your personal behalf. And right now, that powerful river of favor is actively rising in your life. Doors are quickly opening that you honestly didn't even know existed just yesterday. People who were previously completely indifferent to your current situation are now being strongly moved to actively take action in your favor. Situations that once seemed completely impossible to fix are suddenly and rapidly aligning in surprising ways that can only be accurately described as truly miraculous. And you, my friend, are now standing right at the absolute center of it all, ready to walk confidently into all the blessings that have been patiently waiting just for you. Some of you are about to experience a complete financial breakthrough in ways that completely defy all human logic and reasoning. Money arriving from unexpected sources and places. Opportunities that were completely blocked before are now flowing freely and strongly. New contracts, successful partnerships, and great opportunities are suddenly appearing out of nowhere, all perfectly guided by a divine hand. And it is not simply just about the sudden influx of money. It is primarily about your newfound ability to manage that money wisely, to use it for great good, and to actively become a powerful vessel of blessing for many other people around you. Heaven does not just simply give you things, it actively equips you. It prepares your heart and your mind to successfully handle the rapid increase, to make important decisions that are always rooted in wisdom and integrity. That, my friend, is what true abundance truly looks like in action. It is not just about the receiving of things, but also about the growing, the expanding, and the walking responsibly with what has been faithfully entrusted to you by God. Favor will touch absolutely every single area of your life, including your personal relationships, your physical health, your professional career, and even your own inner world and peace. People will suddenly begin to respond to you in ways that seem completely beyond any logical explanation. Doors that once closed abruptly without any reason will now begin to open with total ease. Decisions that once felt completely confusing will now suddenly become perfectly clear and simple to you. Timing that once felt permanently delayed will now align in perfect precision, and the quiet confidence that you will gain from walking through this divine favor is not arrogant pride. It is the deep, quiet, unwavering assurance that heaven is perfectly orchestrating every single detail of your life for your ultimate good and benefit. You are no longer operating constantly in a desperate survival mode. You are now actively walking in complete divine alignment, and absolutely everything happening around you is quickly beginning to respond and obey that alignment. I know some of you are unfortunately still carrying some deep doubt. You are thinking, but what if it still doesn't happen for me? What if I get my hopes up high again, only to be let down? Let me urgently remind you, doubt has absolutely no authority whatsoever over the certain promise of God. Doubt has absolutely no weight or power against true faith. Faith is the clear language of heaven, and when you bravely speak it out loud, the entire universe immediately listens and obeys. That is precisely why I want you to say very quietly in your heart, or powerfully out loud if you need to hear it, I am actively walking in the light of abundance and favor now. I am stepping boldly into my true destiny. I am fully receiving the blessings that were prepared just for me. Even if fear desperately tries to silently creep in, even if your logical mind strongly says otherwise, repeat that declaration, declare it firmly. This is because words that are spoken in genuine faith carry enormous power. Words that are spoken with high expectation actively move heaven itself into action. There is also a deep inner transformation happening inside of you right now. The powerful blessing of abundance is not merely about outer circumstances changing quickly. It is actually about your heart and mind completely aligning with the immense favor of God over your life.